Welcome everyone to the latest episode of the SHIRO Show. Another fantastic day, another fantastic time, another fantastic me not closing the web browser. But it's half the fun. How y'all doing out there? We got a great show today. As you can see, Dave has disappeared. He has vanished in thin air. I don't know where he's gone, but he's gone. Just joking. He's actually right here in voice chat. How you doing, Dave?
Troubleshooting a modem, but I'm doing okay other than that.
Internet getting you down?
Yeah, well, a few days ago I had a catastrophic modem failure is what I'm going to call it, where the modem just stopped working for no apparent reason because nothing happened to it, but I guess it just decided that it was borked. So after hours of troubleshooting with Cox, I just decided to return it to Costco. Good tip is buy from Costco because they'll let you return a modem that's 2 years old. And
Nice.
They gave me a replacement, which didn't come until today. And now I'm troubleshooting it. And yeah, it's. I think I have to initialize it with my ISP first before I can actually just plug and play.
Yeah, because you're changing the modem to a different part of the house, right?
No. I'm literally just. It's in my living room, and it's literally the same model number. It's a Netgear Nighthawk CM1100, and I just thought I could just swap it out, like with the new replacement.
Weird.
But I think I actually have to go through the whole setup, by connecting my computer directly to it and telling Cox, oh yeah, I'm going to use this new modem. I think I have to do that. So
yeah,
that's
Cox
where we
is
are.
really annoying with that stuff. I originally wanted to set up another modem in my room, but it's like, oh yeah, you can't do that. You have to pay the price for it. You have to pay for another internet service. So it's like, we literally, because it was going to be another $100 or something a month. We found somebody that paid I think it was like $400 just to run Ethernet throughout the house, and we're good to go. We have Ethernet in every room in the house. So you're reviewing me on a terabit or gigabit internet speed. Terabit. That's.
Would you go as far as to call them Cox?
Cockheads is how I prefer to call it.
Are they a bunch of cocks? Okay, yeah. So I think
it's very
that's
coxy. Coxy Cleopatra.
What's up with you, Pat?
Good. I actually want to do a new segment if that's cool. So
yeah,
I got a lot of these.
It.
So I got back into vinyl records again, as you guys probably know from all my posting on the Discord and on my actual Twitter and my Instagram. And I thought I'd go through a couple of records I got recently because they're kind of on video game related and kind of just cool to talk about. So why don't we get into it with the first one? I'm going to preface this. This record is kind of hard to find, but it's fairly popular. You might not know the name of the band, but once you see it, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I know who that is. And I'll remove the other thing to spoil it. So I got this record by the Jetsons. It's called Made in America is the name of it in Japanese. But
nice.
If you guys can, anyone in the chat know the reason why I got this and why they're very popular in the retro game scene, let me know. And then when I'll see if anybody guesses it before I'm done explaining it. But basically, I went to this record store called what was the record store called? They have a YouTube channel. It's like this record store in Arizona. It's famous. It's called the In Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. I went to their store, and I saw this record on their videos, like in the background. They have and I was like, oh sweet, I've been looking for that. I looked on their wall, and it's like, oh yeah, those are and they had it right there, like hanging on the walls. Like, oh yeah, that's the history, the historical museum part of it, where they shows off all the local bands, because the Jetsons themselves are local to Arizona. They're Tempe, Arizona, which is technically local band, even though they're pretty popular. And I was kind of bummed, so I looked through their records and seeing if they had one, and I pulled this one out. This one's actually cleaner than the one they had on their wall, the Jetsons, Made in America. And for you that haven't guessed it in the chat, maybe this will look familiar to you.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
So does that one have Hard Times on it?
No, this does though. This single right here, the Jetsons. This is if you can guess, this is like an Ice Cap maybe Zone. And I guess you guys, if you haven't guessed it, it's the Jetsons is the keyboardist of the band's Brad Buxer, who was the keyboardist for Michael Jackson, who also coincidentally coincidentally worked on the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 soundtrack. So Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, and the song by the Jetsons, "Hard Times," that's on the single right here. I'll show right here. So the single. Oh, that's sorry about that. I keep the records in the sleeve so it doesn't give any seam splits. But yeah, it has "Hard Times" and "When the Sun Goes Down," which I think was on Stranger Things one of the seasons. But yeah, the "Hard Times," of course, the little single of that. And the cool thing about this one is that since it was a local band, like they were selling it online, and like all these video game outlets were showing it off. And I tried to do pickup, and it's like, oh, you can pick it up in Arizona. I was like, what the heck? But the cool thing I like about this is that it's a blue record too, so it sounds quite nice. I don't know if it's all analog. It might be digital. I'm fairly sure it's probably digital, but if I had to hazard a guess, but it sounds quite nice. Usually the video game stuff kind of sounds really bad most of the time. They're really mastered digitally, and a lot of it's like just poor sounding vinyl. But this one sounds really good, and I like it. And then yeah, the Jetsons I picked up. They got some pretty good songs on here. I think that also was on Stranger Things, and a couple other ones. But this is their only EP. Technically, it's an EP. It's a short album. It's really their only sort of recording that they released on vinyl, and it was a short-lived band, only a couple of years. But yeah, its legacy just caught on with Brad Buxer and Michael Jackson, the notoriety of the Ice Cap Zone theme, which was "Hard Times" by the Jetsons. So yeah, cool stuff. Guys, did you want to say something, Dave?
I was just saying, yeah.
Oh, just yeah.
Yep.
And then the another one I picked up from that same record store is the Who's My Generation. Actually, I got this sealed. This was originally sealed from England. Like, this was completely sealed, non-opened. It's a 1980s pressing of it. It's pretty nice. So I keep my vinyl right there. It's kind of cool because like when I cut it open, I just breathed in the air, and it smelled like England, or what I imagine England smelled like. So I guess for Martin, I know what it's like to breathe in the air you breathe, I guess now. At least in the 1980s. So it's a really cool record. It's a repress of it, but it's pretty much 1-to-1 to the original pressing of it, but just not ungodly expensive. It's only like $20, so $20 for a sealed analog record, can't beat that any day of the week. I picked up is Lupin the Third, the First, which is soundtrack to the famous Lupin the Third. It's a really nice jazz sounding record. It's by Yulian's Explosion Band, who did a lot of the Lupin stuff back in the day, and it's a really great sounding record. It's very jazz orientated, and then the last two records I show you, I'm really going to get into the jazz stuff. So really great sounding record. It's on black vinyl. I think they still sell it. It came from Japan with this cool obi. I don't know if it's probably digital, but it still sounds fantastic. Great sounding pressing. It's great cover art. I love Lupin the Third. It's from the latest movie, Lupin the Third, the First, that came out recently. So I highly recommend seeing that movie because I bring a lot of Lupin fans to it, and they said they loved it a lot. So non-Lupin fans I sent it to, and they said they liked it a lot. So I recommend seeing that movie. Great record. Go see the movie. Last is this one I got by accident. I ordered the I forgot what the trio's name is, Blow Up, and they accidentally sent this one, the Yamamoto Tsuyoshi Trio, Midnight Sugar, which is another fantastic jazz record. This one's 2 records. It's pressed on 45 black vinyl. It's like they're 2 records each. They're like all the songs are spread across it, and it sounds fantastic. It uses something called supercut analog disc. So it's a process where they get rid of for the regular vinyl records, it's like the process is they record the tape onto a vinyl father, and it's cut into mother pressing, several of them, and those are pressed on a record. So that adds generation of copying. But with this, it's like directly, I think, father directly to the record. It's a more expensive process, but it ends up sounding great. Really great disc. Really great sound quality. Great music too. It's has a bunch of really good jazz tracks on it. I love Japanese jazz, so if you haven't listened to Japanese jazz, go listen to this one. It's fantastic.
Cool.
And then the last one I got is a big one. This was a lot of people know the album. It's Miles Davis Kind of Blue is a box set called URHQ, so ultra high quality record. And this is like an audiophile pressing of Kind of Blue, and it's fantastic. It has this cool box that like it slides out like this to like all these details. So you have the it's got like this little box thing and has like the record itself right there. It's like a nice clear opaque heavy ass vinyl. I think it's like 200 grams. I'll put that carefully. Got the album itself, really nice like laminated cover, gatefold. Got little Miles there on the back. Got some notes as well, like the edition of it. It's really good sounding. I loved. This is the best, probably the best sounding copy of Kind of Blue you can ever get. It's ultra high quality. It's like clear opaque vinyl. Like everything in this record is perfect. It's probably the best quality record of it you can get in stereo. It is stereo if you guys are not into that. I don't know how people feel about stereo versus the mono editions of Kind of Blue, but I like it a lot. It sounds fantastic and was a great set. I listened a little bit today, and I'm going to be listening to it in the coming weeks because I love Kind of Blue. It's probably my top album of all time. That list I listed when we did the countdown for the best vinyl soundtracks of all time. So yeah, it's great box set, really nice. I think it's sold out at the time I'm talking about it, but I paid I think $115 for it, but well worth it because original Kind of Blues go for over thousands of dollars that are in high prestige vinyl. So arguably the Kind of Blue one I have is the even better sounding press than the stereo of the original, because actually there's an issue with the stereo when they recorded that album because the heads on the recording thing ran a bit too fast, so the notes are a bit sharp on the stereo version compared to the mono version. But I believe they fixed that, and now it's like the highest quality it can possibly be. So if you want a one and done, yeah, if you want a one and done quality pressing of a Kind of Blue, it's sold out pretty much everywhere at this point. They reprint it sometimes, but I think they're done with that. But if you really want one, you could probably buy it on a secondhand market for about $150 to $200. Just be careful because there's a lot of QA issues with it coming up. So make sure the one you get is in pretty good condition, or at least the people that sell it are being honest about it, because some of them are okay, some of them are kind of bad. So just keep an eye out. A Shadow Mask said I transcribed Coltrane's solo on Freddie Freeload in college. Man, that album is amazing. I love that song off of there. It's probably one of my favorites, but I have to say, as cliche as it is, I think So What's probably my my favorite version of that, in all honesty. But that's just my opinion on that. I love Miles Davis, John Coltrane, and they have a lot of great artists on there. They have Miles Davis, John Coltrane. They got Bill Evans. They got Cannonball Adderley. They got so many fantastic people on that record. It's legendary. It's like the Avengers of records. So if you want, and the cool thing about that record is if you introduce it to your friends, ask they want more like it, just be like, go down the list of the artists and look at all their solo stuff, and there's your recommendations. And which is what I like, because each one of them is fantastic. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with all those artists, but like each one of them, fantastic, and they each have a legendary album that they're known for. Like Bill Evans has a Portrait in Jazz, John Coltrane has a Giant Steps, Cannonball Adderley has Something Else. Like there's so many legendary songs, artists that are on that track. So if you need good jazz like if you want to get into jazz, like my recommendation is get Kind of Blue, and then listen to everyone else's stuff that's solo on there, and there we go. Yeah, Giant Steps. And like you cannot go wrong with anything that's recommended on that, and then just branch out from there from what you want for jazz. So that's usually my go-to, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. How do you guys feel about the jazz stuff?
I absolutely love Giant Steps. They say it's like one of the hardest pieces to improvise on top of. I think Vox or Earworm did a piece on that, but yeah, it was it's great. And I love Miles Davis as well.
Heck yeah. Gotta give respect where respect is due.
He got he got into like with Bitches Brew and stuff like that. He got into the more like experimental stuff that kind of would lead to you know, different genres of jazz and stuff like that. So I love that stuff.
For sure. Yes, but yeah, overall love all that. Actually talking about that, there's actually the high quality mobile fidelities doing high quality versions of something else and Bitches Brew. So it's about
nice.
it's about 125 per album, so it's pretty pricey, but like I said, the thing is that those albums are, if you're mega fans and you love those albums and you can't get enough, buy them like that. But if you're not, just get like a regular copy of it. There's plenty of them digital and analog, and most of them sound pretty good. So yeah, get both those albums if you can, because well, I'll get all of them if you can, because those are fantastic. But if you love something else in Bitches Brew, go get that. Also, Sketches of Spain is also in that quality, but honestly, I don't like Sketches of Spain. That's not my favorite jazz album, in all honesty. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe Shadowmass like, what? You don't like Sketches of Spain? But anyways, sorry about that tangent, guys. I'm a big jazz fan. Well, I would say I'm a big jazz guy. I'm getting more into it. I don't know like the more obscure artists, but little by little, I'm trying to learn and get more into it. So
you introduced me to a sweet little jazz number, which was and it ties into Sega Saturn. It's the Christmas Jingle Bells theme from Snatcher on the Saturn.
yeah, that one's a really good one.
I played that for my kids, and they thought it was kind of funny, you know, because of course it's using I believe it is using the Saturn sound chip, you know. It's like bling ding ding, bling ding ding, doing you know, like all the drums. They sound very MIDI, you know, but it's fun.
Yeah, no, I love the Snatcher soundtrack. That's I also have that on vinyl as well, but it's in the other room. I'm not gonna hunt it down. But next vinyl video game edition, we'll talk about that. But Random said who here listens to George Benson. He actually lives in the Valley, and the guy I talked about, the Mike from the In Groove, bought his record collection. George Benson, fantastic jazz guitarist. Love his stuff. Listen to George Benson if you haven't, guys. Highly recommended. Pat Metheny as well is probably, honestly, he was the one that got me that got me into jazz. Pat Metheny, I love his stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Pat Metheny's great. It's not like standard jazz. It's more like I don't know how I would categorize or classify Pat Metheny, but he definitely he played guitar really weird. He played with the pick backwards. He had like a really interesting but I like how he collaborated with all like the Afro-Cuban kind of music and, you know, the percussion sections and stuff like that. That was always the cool thing about Pat Metheny.
Yeah, for sure. I love Pat Metheny a lot. There's a lot of good jazz artists. Do you have any that you could recommend? Dave? That I missed?
Aside from what you already covered, let me see. You said John Coltrane, right?
Yep.
You said Miles Davis. I don't know. Those are the heavy hitters. I'd probably say, yeah, Miles Davis. I'm a little distracted with the internet crap right now, but yeah, no, I think you pretty much covered some of the best ones.
Sounds good. All right, should we get into the news in that case then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty, guys. All right, let's get that. Let's get the thing open. There we go. Working. There we go. Next one's working. All right. So the first article we're going to be covering is here. We're going to talk about we talked about that one. Oh no, we didn't talk about the take on that. Sorry. The first article we're going to be talking about today is Pandemonium's take on the Sega Extreme 27th Anniversary Homebrew Edition. Basically, Pandemonium released a video. I think it was it Saturday, right? Saturday or Friday.
Yeah.
It was right after I did the giant 6-hour stream that got me hyper on Monster. Essentially, basically, he did a video on it. So he talks about a little bit of his experience doing the homebrew competition and his and sort of the history behind it and like what he experienced doing the last year and this year. And it's a really cool, interesting video. He covers a bunch of ton of games here, like pretty much all. Well, he covers all the games here. Yes, I think the funniest bit of it is the Emerald Nova. Actually, he's in here. You want to talk about it a little bit in Emerald Nova? You standing with your dog in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico or wherever you're from.
Yeah, he had me stand. He wanted me to do the Takeshi's Castle thing or whatever it was, or Iron Chef. I forget which one it was.
Yeah.
So I just ended up driving out to the volcanoes and doing a quick shoot.
There we go, right there. There's Mr. Emerald looking out into the distance.
Which I thought made it, by the way. I thought that was awesome.
Unfortunately, I ran at the wrong time of day. It was like a storm out, and I got pushed out of the evening filming schedule for the storm. But I was supposed to get it during like sunset.
Hey, at least it wasn't like Star Wars Tanzania storm.
Yeah.
I actually
Have you
did like
heard
the
that story?
vibe from it.
Yeah,
No,
it
what
was
story?
a great
Is that
vibe.
the one where they wiped out the entire Episode 1 pod racer fleet?
I was actually thinking of like the original Star Wars, like recording in the desert, A New Hope, and I think that it was like, but yeah, I think that's right. They went back to, because it was Tatooine. Anything they're filming in Tatooine would be on like in Tanzania, and they have a lot of storms, so they're always having to work around some kind of storm.
Yeah. I don't know where you got this Iron Dev thing from. Obviously like those are prominent guys, but I have no idea where the Iron Dev thing came from other than to make the joke.
I think they're all winners from that year, so in different categories. Because XL2 won the competition for the homebrew game. I think Noah Steam won it for Soccer Wars, and Knights won it for his Patcher, I believe. No, it wasn't Knights. It was Trekkies, him and Emerald Nova. Yeah. I don't know where Trek is. I think it's because he came in second or whatever. Maybe I'll have to watch it.
It was like last year. I think Trekkies was attached to like at least 2 or 3 of the top entries. I mean, he's attached to basically everything in patches in one way or another.
Yeah.
Or at least half of them. I mean, we're getting more independent projects now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess because he was part of the other one, I guess maybe, and he needed a third guy, so we added him in as like to get the thing. But now you're an Iron Dev. You're the original game Iron Dev, along with I guess everyone in the Bulk Slash team, I guess, which is technically Knights as well. So congrats, Knights, for being an Iron Dev.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna arbitrarily do the 3 category thing, like, doesn't just not get on just by the patcher by itself?
Yeah. So Knights gets that for the patcher.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, Knights gets it for the patcher.
This arbitrary designation that we literally just had made up after the competition was already over.
Yeah, I think it was just a bit. I think he's just making a joke, doing a bit though. So
I don't know. If he does this again next year, he might just end up keep going. I'll end up having to go to like the Sandia Peak or something like that, or Carlsbad to do another location shoot.
Hey, come to the Grand Canyon with me. We'll do some posing, and like you can like stand on my corpse or something, and I'll pretend to be somebody that lost last year. It'll be funny.
And yeah. So for the record, Knight's Patcher doesn't collect people's private data, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to iterate that. So
does anyone actually like believe that though? Like I thought that was like this is like stupid drama in the Discord that like no one actually thought that was happening. It doesn't even need to be like addressed really. Like obviously
I was joking. I was kind of joking, but yeah. Apparently some people, are of that persuasion.
Yeah.
I mean they don't even believe that. They're just saying that to find a point to argue.
Right.
It's funny. It was hilarious.
Everybody should go download Knight's Patcher and give him all their data.
Yeah. So he can finally buy that boat.
I think the one thing that's being done to address that is instead of the automatic SSP update, there's going to be like a little radio button to say, okay, do you want this thing to grab the latest version?
Right.
Would you like to give us your information so that way we can collect it and build a giant robot that fights other giant robots in a competition called G Gundam. And
I
you get
do
a
actually
kick-ass
have to
theme
make
song.
a statement with that.
Go for it. You got the
I
floor.
am also pulling down from Redump because I plan on verifying discs. So my newest update, as soon as you download it, you're gonna get prompted saying this is where I hit the updates, and it'll include Redump, a Sega Extreme, and whatever sites that an individual SSP person might place in. But none of my SSPs go to anywhere but what's on the meta side of the patch. So you can see where it's going to go. I don't hide anything. I promise you I'm not going to steal your data. I don't want your data.
He wants my data though. But he just did a Trojan in my computer for that. He just put that in mine. It's not related to the patch, or he just decided to do that to steal my data.
So you say you're checking against redump, but that kind of implies a very specific kind of dump. So like you got the checksums for the Q multi-bin, but if you're just putting a CD disk into your CD drive, is it going to be able to check against that in the same way?
Well, that's what redump is supposed to be. Like, they're supposed to be CD perfect images that they're hashing. So if you're putting your CD in there, that should be matching what's in redump. And if it doesn't match, I can at least say, hey, you have a version that nobody knows about. Maybe you should go tell somebody.
Because whenever I check the redump, it's always the individual file checksums, but there's a whole CD checksum that you can check against?
No, I could do it per track.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I just finishing up this article. It's a great video by Pandemonium on the Sega Extreme Saturn Homebrew competition. It's a little bit more digestible than mine in terms of that it's only about an hour and 27 minutes instead of 2 Lord of the Rings length movies back to back like mine was. So usually
I think the Lord of the Rings films are like 4 hours each if you go with the director's cut. It's only like 1.5.
Okay, so
it's like halfway through 2 towers.
There we go. So that's perfect. That's when Lord of the Rings started to get bad. So you get to watch the good. I'm just joking. But yeah,
start a fight, man.
Yeah, probably. But actually, I kind of like Lord of the Rings more than Star. I'm not gonna get into that argument. But yeah, like I said, it's a little bit more digestible. Watch Panda's video if you want something easily digestible and you can watch it and get the gist of what all the things are. And then watch my video if you want the in-depth, like, director's commentary, like, all the nitty-gritty about the games. I'm gonna upload a video with it with the little thumbnails like he has, like, where you can select the chapters. I just haven't had time to do that because I'm editing a podcast. Spoilers, we got a new podcast coming up soon, hopefully finishing up this weekend. I'm gonna re-upload that when it's the homebrew stuff when it's ready, so I might just put in chapters just for now on the video so that way you guys can watch it, but yeah, that's about it. Anybody else have anything on the Pandemonium video or the competition in general that they'd like to talk about before we move on?
I just appreciate the amount of time and effort that Nick puts into that stuff. So I thought he did a great job. Summed up the competition real nice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I'm definitely did a great job on that, and look forward to his next video.
It. Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's move on to.
I'm going to try and get all the competition related videos onto the competition page once I finally get back to editing the website.
Nice. I can't wait to see it. Let me know, and I'll share it out on Twitter, on the tweeters. All right. So the next article we got up is interview with Retro RGP. So I don't really usually talk about the SHIRO show videos we do on the podcast, but I think this one is kind of more. Honestly, it felt more like a podcast in terms of it's a SHIRO show. Like, what do you think, Dave? Do you think you felt similar with that?
I guess. I mean, the idea was just to kind of be a pre-game show because I don't know if it was Emerald or who said that it was basically like that streamathon was like the Super Bowl and all the contest entries and everything. I was I was basically repeating somebody else in the Discord or something, saying it was like the Super Bowl for Saturn, for the Saturn community. But anyway, yeah, no, I just we just kind of turned SHIRO Show into like a little, let's talk about the competition. Let's talk about, I don't know, we ended up talking about Genesis hardware of all things. But yeah, no, it was really fun just chatting with Bob and talking about the Saturn community and the contest entries and. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and again, like we're so grateful to Bob for his time coming on, and for the collaboration and being able to share stuff like Nick's video and information about all the contest entries on Retro RGB. So it's really nice to be able to get more eyes on that.
For sure, and yeah, we actually have some articles coming up probably next week, the week after, for Bob's Retro RGB podcast that he does. I know that we're gonna get the 2 articles that we're about to talk about on there as well, so we'll get some eyes on that. So there'll be a lot of fun for people. I'll do one at a time, so that way we're not overloading his podcast with Saturn stuff. So it's like a digestible thing for people that aren't into Saturn. So it'll be a nice little treat, and I'll be excited for him to cover those items that we're gonna be talking about in the future on the podcast, on his podcast for the next 2 weeks. So hopefully we'll be able to keep pace with that. We have a lot of articles we can also talk about, so. We've been trying to get at least like 1 article up a week for his podcast, so we'll try to keep the pace. But like I said, we can't make any promises. We're very, very busy, but I mean, we'll always make time for Bob because he's, like I said, he's a big inspiration. He's like the, I'm trying to think. He's like the David Letterman of the retro podcasting world or the retro gaming world with I guess Retronauts being like Johnny Carson, maybe. That'd be a good analogy.
Sure.
Because I mean,
I've never
David
thought
Letterman's
about it like that.
Yeah, David Letterman's like the number 2. At least, well, actually, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. He's kind of like the number 2 for me because I'm stuck between like who's number 2 for John. Like number 2 is like David Letterman or Conan O'Brien. I don't know which late night talk host I like more. But
I like Conan because he's funny. David Letterman is, he's a little more deadpan. And then there's Jay Leno, of course, but I mean, he was gone a long time ago.
The thing is that we're talking about actually funny hosts.
Yeah, true.
Jay Leno is not funny. He's informative with his car stuff, but he's not. Yeah. Sorry, I know. I've been watching a lot of the talk show wars on YouTube, so. Yeah, so
I got you.
I don't know. I need to stop watching those. I always make analogies for things I'm into. So, I guess getting back on topic. Yeah, great guy. And we're excited to contribute to him more. And hopefully the next 2 articles will make it, and we'll talk about that, and it'll be fun. Alrighty. So the next article, this one came from left field. Nick put it in the Discord, and I was like, "Use 1 fan translation? Is that Saturn or?" Because it was very confusing because I guess you don't know that for those of you that don't know, Use 1 was actually ported to the Saturn as Famicom Classics 1, which is like Falcom Classics 1, which is a collection of Falcom games. I think it's Use 1 and I forgot the other 2. It's like, was it Visit Vandal Hearts? No, it wasn't Vandal Hearts, right? I can't remember. Whatever the 2 on those games. Don't know. There's 2 of them on the games. But essentially, the most important one. Sorry, the other 2 games. Yeast 1, which got a fan translation. So I'll put the. Oops, I don't want to open a YouTube link. See all my that stuff. Link. Mute that. Basically, like a little gameplay of that. So, this is like a 0.1 version of the game. So. Tingai Makio, that's the other one that was on there.
Okay.
And then another one I can't see. But yeah, this is it was kind of insane. Like the user Mirzik, like weird music, like German, talked about how he loved playing the Grandia translation. Shouts out Knights, shouts out Trekkies, and he's like, I really want to play Ys, so I started translating himself. So as you can see here, he started the translation work. Oh wow, it's not zooming in on that image. I'll try to open up another tab and zoom in on that. So Yeah, like I said, he did the translation work on that. Did some hacking of the text. But here's the catch with it: is that the translation isn't. It's using machine translation. So, in other words, he's taking the Japanese text in the game, throwing it through Google Translate, and translating it that way.
Oh, I see.
So while it's not a true translation, I think of it as a proof of concept translation, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you guys at all?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Is the plan to do like a conventional translation, or do you say proof of concept just to show that it can be done?
I meant like in terms of the proof of concept of using Google Translate. I think he wants to get translators on the project, and this is actually an open project. So he was saying that he wants to get people from like Sega Extreme and all over the world to assist on it if they can. And like I said,
if he needs a high fidelity translation, we already have multiple re-releases of Ys, like several times over. If he really needs to take a script from somewhere.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue is actually getting that script into the game, because I don't know how hard it would be to pull those scripts out of the games itself, similar to what
it's
did.
not a very complicated game. You could literally just transcribe it in an evening. There's not a lot to it.
It's actually a good idea. Like just look through a playthrough and just transcribe all the text, and because I don't think is it a long game? I've not played it before, so.
I mean, it's grindy, but it's like an NES or SMS level RPG. There's very little text involved.
Huh.
Alrighty. So yeah.
I mean, there's more stuff added with the remasters, but even still, it's not a whole lot.
Okay.
What I saw of the screenshot, it looked like text was kind of the size. The character size is really large, and just trying to fit like a standard English sentence in there, it like trails off, right?
Yeah, it's pretty. It pretty much, you could probably fit. If I had to guesstimate, like maybe 8 or 9 letters per line.
So does that mean it's going to be a lot of like tapping B to like advance the dialogue to be able to read like a single sentence?
Yeah, I think he lamented that he wants to get the text smaller, so it's not huge.
Yeah.
So that's something he definitely wants to do.
So is that possible? Is that possible, like from Knight or Emerald standpoint, or would you actually have to like create a new font in there?
I mean, you're going to have to create a new font if you want to change the sizing, because it's a picture, it's a bitmap. Yeah.
Okay.
Or not, it's some sort of compressed format. But the point is, you gotta make it a different size. And Knight has already accomplished that for multiple other games. I imagine it's a pretty common thing to do to get these translations done.
Gotcha.
To make them readable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the same thing's happening in Gun Griffin right now, right?
I believe so. Yeah, they're shrinking the text down, because I think they started doing the text, like they shrunk that down. I don't know in terms of getting it, because they had to shrink it down from like smaller than what it used to be. So I'm not entirely sure. So
we just took out the padding.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you took out the padding, but the texts are all still basically 16:16.
The text is 8 by 13, but that's how it was in the game originally.
Okay, yeah. So in Baroque it was 16:16, and I had to remake the entire ASCII set in like 8:16.
That sounds like a pain.
For something like this, I'd probably go with 8 by 8 because you're stuck with such tiny menu areas, and it looks like 16 by 16. So it would look like that item that was on that screenshot. I don't think it looked terrible. 8 by 8 should be fine.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting. I really want to try out the game for sure. Hopefully this will all be fixable. Like City, I think that's one of the things on his list. Hold on, give me a second. I need to get some ban going on in the chat. Sorry, getting some spam going on in the chat. Let me just delete that. Okay, so
I fixed my internet.
cool. Yeah, if you
Waller.
yeah, I just blocked some guy. So, anyways, I guess to finish off the article, it's like right now the only towns that are translate is the Mina town. Is that how you say that? It translates pretty much everything there in broken English. So Google Translate text.
Right.
And if you go to another town, it'll show the Japanese text, but it'll be garbled text boxes. So as you see here, like the text that are all just like destroyed and not good. Yeah, it's pretty good for the most part, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So I think there's a lot of oh, I got a message from Trekkies. Is he yelling at me? Okay, never mind. He's just commenting on some guy spamming. So, no big deal. So, yeah, overall, pretty good game. I'm excited to try it out. Like I said, the reason why that issue was happening was because translation used the 1-byte encoding, and the patch, well, the rest of the game still is untranslated and uses 2-byte encoding. So, it's all good. Yep. Shadow Mask, guess what? Congrats, you're a mod. Congratulations. Everyone, can we give a round of hands of Shadow Mask? He's our new mod. So let's give a nice clap. Congratulations, Shadow Mask.
Clap.
Please ban all the bots from the chat. Love you.
You could ban me too.
No, we love you, Anthony. You better sign that
Knight
marriage
is almost
certificate.
a bot. Knight's only half human.
He's a cyborg. Alright, so yeah, like I said, I guess wrapping this article up from that impromptu moderation knighting of dragoning. Basically, yeah, it's an early. Keep in mind this is an early translation, so don't be too harsh on it. This is a proof of concept. It's a .1, so if you're complaining like, oh, why is it badly translated and why is it all glitchy and stuff? I mean, that's why. Please don't burn this to a disk yet. He even said in the thing, do not burn this to a disk. This is not done. Don't waste a disk. If you want to try it out, use an emulator or an ODE. And of course, if you want to,
Fair enough.
yeah, and of course, if you want to keep in touch or keep in the loop on it, check out the Sega Extreme forum, which is. So what you're saying? Oh, you're just echoing. If you want to keep in touch with it, go to the Sega Extreme forum, and you can check out the thread on it in the article, which will be attached to this video, hopefully. But yeah. Anything else on the East 1 translation? I guess you could say it's really easy to enjoy this game.
God. Yeah.
Wait, what the heck is going on? Why is the heck? Was there? There's like a, I don't know, can you guys see it? There's like a thing in like the corner. What the heck? That's kind of weird.
What?
Yeah, you mean that weird reflection you got going on?
Yeah, what's going on over there? What the heck is... I messed something up? I'm gonna see what... There's like a weird reflection in that corner. I don't know what caused that. It's background... Oh, Discord video too. Sorry, I'm stupid. I accidentally opened up Discord and it's for the guests, but there's no video guests, so... yeah, that was kind of weird. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And yeah, anything else for this article before we move on?
I just hope the dev keeps up the good work.
Yeah, thank you very much. Music. Love it. All right, and for
Isn't
our
it Merzik?
Merzik, sorry, I'm bad at pronouncing things. But he's impressive though, because like he's not native English or Japanese, so he's like working on this without with those being his natural tongue,
Languages.
mother tongue. That's
well,
it.
Honestly, for a lot of more basic game scripts, I feel like machine translation is good enough for most use cases.
Yeah.
Why don't people use DeepL though? I think that's better than Google.
I think
Maybe
people
they just don't know about it.
Yeah.
No, people use it. It's a tool, but like Google Translate is like a shorthand, and it's not like they come up with magnificently different results most of the time. Like DeepL is good for edge cases when you read something that's obviously wrong and you need to like double check it. but like for the most part, like healing potion does healing potion stuff because even if you can't understand the title, the description text says plus 30 HP, and it's pretty unambiguous.
Yeah, I guess it's nice to use both to kind of get to the context. If you're having any trouble, like being able to use them both and compare gets you closer to oftentimes to what it's supposed to be.
The other thing is DeepL and Bing both have hidden caps that you don't know about.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yandex and Google, as far as I could tell, do not have caps as of yet. I could throw anything at it without getting blocked. But there were times where DeepL blocked me and Bing blocked me.
Huh.
Bada bing,
more you
bada
know.
boom. Alrighty, so for our final article, this was an interesting one to write and learn about, because when I was going into it, I know there's a little history behind it, but I didn't realize how much was it in it. So, Nintenpin Mamoru on Saturn finally gets a complete translation. So, like I said, you might be thinking to yourself, what are you talking about, Patrick? This game had a translation, and yes, it kind of did, but it was incomplete. There were, I think to my knowledge, there were some elements that were untranslated, like the tile text was that? Am I on point with that? It's like the text in the tiles itself were untranslated, so a lot of the objects were left untitled.
Right.
Yeah, the first one 10 years ago was just a very basic translation where they went in and just changed the little text files in the app itself.
Whereas, I don't know. I was looking online. Apparently, it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 20, man, I'm getting old.
It's a really old.
Oh, that's right. We all found it just a few years ago, though. It was like refound, and people were blasting it out, or resharing it, I think is what it was.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. Like, this is probably, I don't know the history of it, but I think it's probably one of the first fan translations for Saturn game.
It should be the first.
Yeah, so it's pretty legendary in that regard. So it's something that has a pedigree of sorts to it. So it's a very legendary game. Sadly, it was incomplete. It was an incomplete translation. Tile text was not translated, of course, and there was some issues where I was a bit unsure. Wow, I left that in the game. I'm so stupid. I left that in the video. I can't believe it. Yeah, I guess too late now to fix that. So essentially, yeah, so they added the tile text like before it was untranslated. But yeah, one of the things I was confused on that maybe you guys can answer me is that I couldn't figure out, because apparently there's a crashing issue where at the end of the game text it will crash. What was going on with that? Was that introduced when it was converted over to use the SSP patcher, or is that just something that was in the game that nobody noticed until they beat it, because it's actually a hard game?
Wait, so you actually beat the game?
No, but I saw in the thing that I saw in the discussion that there was a crash at the end with the text.
Right. In one of his versions, he went beyond the length that was allowed. So I believe as of 2 days ago, he released another one where the text is slightly shorter to fit it, but it's not exactly where he wanted it to be. So right now, I'm working with him to try to expand the size and fix these font characters as well so that he can finish up his translation.
So this wasn't something that was in the original patch, this was something that was introduced with the new one, right?
I don't know if it was introduced with his first version or with his second version, but at some point, yeah, it got introduced.
I gotcha. So this wasn't with the original patch that was existing already, right?
Yeah, not that I know of.
I gotcha. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. Like, it'd be interesting to see if that was already there, but nobody found it because no one beat it, which would be kind of funny to think about. But it's a hard as nails game, so I wouldn't blame people that
it is pretty hard.
That didn't. But yeah, like I was talking about, over 20 years ago, Alex Kidd and Simon Fang set out to do this translation, which is, to our knowledge, the very first fan translation ever released for the Saturn. So like it's a legendary pedigree to it. So unfortunately, the website that hosted it is long gone, which is kind of expected for 20 years. I really don't know a lot of websites that aren't Google and like the big names that are still around to this day, that are over 20 years old at this point.
I think YTMND is 20
Archives.org.
Yeah, I guess that's the only one.
You know, this
So
is on Sega
Archive
Extreme
dot-
also, right?
What?
wait, what?
If you check out the forums, their original conversations on Sega Extreme.
Oh yeah, you got Sega Extreme membership from like 2002, I want to say, right?
2001, yeah, back in April.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. If you could find that, send a link to it. I'll put in the chat in the article. That'd be kind of funny to see history.
I mean, just go see if you can find any posts by like Cyber Warrior X or Rock and B or something like that.
Yeah.
They're gonna be from around that time frame.
I suppose. So these two, I'm guessing these two are not in the scene anymore. Alex Kin, Simon Fang.
If they are, they're named something else.
There. All right. Well, if any of you guys know them, give a shout out and let us know. Hopefully they're still around though. That'd be kind of cool to talk to them and get history. You know, we're all about preserving the history. But yeah, like I said, around February 2020, another Sega Extreme user, Dark Fowls, or whatever his name is, decided to hack away and complete the translation because I imagine back then we didn't have the tools that we had nowadays to make this a lot easier, like with the tile editing programs and like the emulators for it. Because I don't think 20 years ago an emulator for Saturn really existed or ran well on any machine at that point. It would be surprising if it did, but yeah. So with the tools we have now, we can go back and remaster it. I guess it's like remastering an old record, I guess. But yeah, he went out, added the tiles in, fixed the crashing, and then I think, and was it Unite or was it him that made it compatible with SSP and converted that over?
I made it for him. It was
Okay.
Okay, because originally Cafe Alpha was the one who revived the project. He wrote some scripts and changed a couple of things. And then Dark Felix here picked it up after Cafe Alpha. And then at some point I'm like, I'll just throw this into SSP for you guys. And then like 2 years later, here he is wanting to finish it.
Nice. Yeah. So he went about finishing that, working on, and only really a day ago of the article's publishing, he actually released a not a finished patch, but a complete 100% translation patch of it. So it should have everything in it. But and I was talking to Knight, and he was saying that, that apparently that you guys are going to go in and fix some of the subtitle issues with it and the cutscene issues. Is that correct?
Well, whatever those little things entail, I don't know if the movies themselves have subtitles in them or if it's something different, but whatever those little text spots entail, we're going to go in and fix those, make them shorter, and expand the allowable length so that he can get whatever he wants said into the game.
All right, sweet. I'm pretty excited for that. I think, like I said, I think the thing that really interested me most about this news article is that it was just a surprise, really. I mean, I didn't expect anybody to be able to do something like this or go back to something that old, because I know it was something that was talked about, because I mean it popped up a couple of years ago and everybody freaked out about it and was like, oh, this is so cool, and sadly it wasn't fully translated. So now that we have it, it's great being translated, and it sucks for those people that bought repros of it that have the incomplete translation on it, sadly. But hopefully they burnt it onto CDRW so that way they can reburn that. So, but
Can the Saturn actually handle booting games off CDRW?
I've never tried.
It can if you have a really high quality CDRW.
Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you're gonna make repros with discs burnt onto it, get high quality CDRW so that way, if anything like this happens, you can just reburn the translation on it, because I know it's probably not cheap to press a disc with it, press a disc like that. At least I think it's not that. It's probably not. I mean, it's probably not that expensive, or probably expensive to do that unless you want to replace everybody's disc that you sold to. But yeah, I think that's about it for the news articles. We got, oh wait, we're perfect. We're about about 4:30, so we're right on time. So, what are we playing today, you might ask? Well, I think I had a lot of fun with it last night, so I think I'm going to play a little bit of Ys and some of the Ninpin Manmaru as their fan translation that are up and going. So we'll show that off a little bit more. I know we have the live gameplay of it on the SHIRO YouTube page, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to like go ahead and play it and show my reaction to it. I really just wish Xeno was here, Xenos Interactor was here, because we were playing it last night with Knight, and he was freaking out on me. It's like, you have no patience, Patrick. You have no patience. You need to be patient. And he's like kept yelling at me. It's like, dude, I'm just having fun. So, but it was fun last night. I was up pretty late with the Night of Dragon, capturing the gameplay footage. I just hopped on because I was bored and I just wanted to do gameplay footage and see if anybody wanted to chat. So, and then it turned into a impromptu debugging session and C coding tutorial. So that was kind of interesting. Helped me brush off my C a little bit and get a better insight into the Joe engine. Never know. Maybe I might get inspired enough to make a game. Maybe have a SHIRO game. That'd be kind of fun, right, guys? Kind of neat.
Yeah, you'll just have to quit everything else so you have enough time to work on it.
Fair enough. All right, Dave. Good luck. I'm gonna let you edit all the videos and all the audio now. So have fun with that.
I know, right? I mean, you're already so busy, and that in your job. But I think it would be rad if you did, if you were able to work on something.
You never know. I'm working on something small right now. I can't really talk about it because it's kind of like a private thing, and I don't want to get hopes up for anything. But I'm working on something small right now. I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere. It's basically just me working on a little game thing. So, no promises, no nothing. I'm just right now. It's not even a game. It's like me messing around with some of the engine to try to see how it works. So, but if I get any further and it's like ready to be talked about, I'll talk about it because I got some lofty goals, lofty ideas. So, yeah, hopefully people will enjoy it because I really have fun doing it. But yeah, before I go, let's shout out some of those patrons. I'm gonna hide this. The web browser. Find it. Yeah, web page. Go. All right, so let me get the patrons up. Trion. Oh, you did the page. I didn't have it ready, sadly, so I'm kind of slacking a bit. So please pardon our dust. Is that the?
Well, Knight and I are here, so we got those checked off.
Yeah, got those. Yep. So guest shouts out Emerald Nova, of course, Johannes Fetz, Blue Moon 95. I think he's pretty new, right? I think he just recently became one. Derek A Team, Momphis, Newt Rageous. I think he's brand new as well. Oh yeah, no, Blue Moon. Yeah, Blue Moon was like in the last year. So sorry. Nut Rageous, our newest one. January 14th. Thank you, Nut Rageous, Mr. Newt. And of course, Tanuki Trev and Young Money Sawi. Thank you very much, guys, for backing us. If you guys want to back us, Bunny backs and shout out on the show. If you back us at the $10+ level, you get shout out on the show. $20 actually, you actually get to be a guest on a monthly podcast, or quarterly and the podcast. I know Knight Emerald needs to has the next slot, so we'll figure out how to slot him in if he'd like.
Yeah, we can arrange that with Bastard Baroque.
Ooh, I'd be down.
Yeah, I'd
be down for that. That'd be actually a fun podcast. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a lot of good. If you guys want, like I said, back us and help support us, it'd be amazing. Essentially, zoom out again. Also, don't forget to check out our SHIRO merch store, our Threadless store. We have a lot of cool shirts. Let me see if I can get the browser back up. I closed it prematurely. I didn't realize that I was gonna do that. So let's go to the top. Okay, we want to play that today. Go to Threadless store. We got some cool shirts. We got a new shirt design. I don't know. Did we announce this on the show? I can't remember, Dave. I thought we did.
But yeah, I think we did briefly. Yeah.
But yeah, the new SHIRO shirt, the SHIRO punching through the shirt one, punch right through your heart, and it's too late. You give love a good name. But yeah, got a lot of cool colors that you can wear it in. A lot of cool shirt designs. And if you're not a fan of that one, we have a lot of other cool shirt designs as well for you. You got the classic Japanese launch. Oh, that's another one. Japanese launch Saturn PCB, and the classic SHIRO show and SHIRO logo. So there's a shirt to be had for everybody that wants to support us. And if you can't support us, feel financially, you can support us non-monetarily by sharing out our videos, liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to notify when we go live, liking the video, of course. Like the video, guys. I think we're at a couple 17 likes and we got 30 watchers. So if you're watching and haven't liked it, simple little button click. It's a little simple click. Sorry about that. And of course, stay tuned. Because we're going to do this game stream. We're going to be playing Geese and Penguin Mamaru. So yeah, let me switch over to that, and we shall see you later. Peace and love.
Peace.
And love. Oof. Okay. All right. So why is everything? It would not be a game stream without glitches, wouldn't it? Right?
No, it wouldn't.
Seriously.
You know what we need? We need Dave to make a little stamp for Baroque that has bastard on it. So you could have right on the title screen.
Yeah, so we need to extract that still image title screen. I want to put your and my name on it just to make sure that the rehosters and patchers and whatever aren't able to strip out that credit, and then we'll just put a little a graffiti bastard on top of it, and that's going to be like the version of Baroque everyone's going to be able to play for like a solid 8 months while you babysit me trying to figure out how to fit more text on screen.
Nice.
So when you say Baroque bastard, is that like a is that the name of it, or is that just like something you're calling it because it's a bastard to work on?
So bastard Baroque is the translation that Baroque deserves to get, and that is minimal effort, direct text copying over, just to make sure that people can actually read the item descriptions and play the game and not be completely lost as to how anything works. It's not going to be a proper polished translation effort simply because it's something I can do right now and try to release in the next week or so, and then people will be able to just play it.
Wait, did you say next week or so?
At the rate I'm going, yeah, it looks like I can do that.
Wow. This is why you have to stay for the game streams, guys. What's too loud? Oh, is the game too loud, guys? Oh, sorry.
So I'm at a conference this week, so I'm going to have an unusual amount of free time. But even during my work days, I was getting through like, what's 1,000 from hex into decimal?
1,000 hexadecimal? I don't know off the top of my head. That sound better, guys? Sorry, you keep going.
You sound fine to me.
4K.
4,000?
Yeah, 496.
490. No, that sounds like a lot. But that's how many. I was averaging like 1,000 lines in a night on my work nights when I was sitting down to actually work on doing the text replacement. A large part of that is thanks to the Nerve Tower website guy, who I've taken to calling the Nerve Tower Slayer. And he doesn't want to be credited properly, but I have been using his direct item translations as a one-to-one comparison for how to locate which things are what. And it's been helping me like keep track of character names and stuff inside the item.msb. And at some point, I'm going to have to get down to like the 40-page Japanese text script. And that's going to be a huge pain. But what he has there is, as far as I can tell from the game files, like at least 90% complete. I was surprised when I found some items that wasn't on his thing, but it might be unimplemented. But for the most part, I'm just going to be adapting the Nerve Tower website script into like, 5-year-old's vocabulary level with a lot of truncated words and stuff.
Nice. I'm really excited for that. So
I'm down with that.
Yeah, so I just want to reiterate for people that either probably couldn't hear or miss it. Baroque, I'm not. This is not an announcement, but from what Knight told us, that it should be like on the pace he's going, it should be in about a week or so. So maybe I guess if you probably guess maybe a month if everything goes like maybe less than a month if it goes well, right?
Emerald.
Yeah. So that's on me at this point. So like I'm doing text replacement right now, and just trying to make sure that if most things aren't breaking, if like 50% of the stuff is working, I'm going to consider that a success because it's a freaking roguelike. After a certain point, you just figure out what stuff does. And I'm just gonna try and push that out for Sega Extreme patrons on the resources tab relatively soon.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I'm excited. Definitely let us know. We'll do a premiere on the show. You can be the head of the show, even though you're already big lead on the show. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Guest of additional honor.
Yeah, you got the double honor.
Why is R. Kelly in chat?
Yeah, what's the is there a joke with that or what's going on?
Why is R. Kelly in chat?
Is there an R. Kelly in the chat or am I missing something? I'm gonna leave. So yeah, like I said, if you look at the text, guys, it's very like it's not very that well like translated. Has anything changed? ...
So
By the way,
I'm having this exact same issue where I have like 10 lines on each item description or 10 characters per line, and the number of lines at this point is basically fixed per item. So I have to like he's letting the words spill over to the next line. I've been trying to not do that by like truncating words and dropping vowels and stuff. And so there's going to be like entire lines that are going to be barely legible, but you should be able to figure out the gist of.
That's fair enough. As long as you can. I mean, this is going to be the Bastard Baroque release, though, like the BB.
Yeah.
So.
So Dave, if you can, try to get me like just the word bastard in like red graffiti paint or something that we can just paste over. Okay. I don't know. Maybe not red. I don't know. I mean, look at the title. Look at the title screen Baroque and just like figure out a way to put bastard over the top of it.
You got it. And your name. And Knight's name?
Yeah, somewhere on the bottom. There's plenty of empty space below the press start key.
Yep. Okay. Will do. Thank you, by the way, for doing this.
Thank you.
I know I asked, and I'm not saying you're doing it for me, but thank you anyway. I appreciate it.
You got two translations.
I started the translation before I really knew what the game was. I was looking at the gameplay footage and I thought, oh crap, it's an actual proper first-person action RPG. And it's not that. It's a freaking roguelike. And you die so easily because you don't know what any of the items do, and you start from square one every time. And I'm actually a little bit upset that I volunteered to do this, but now I have to finish. Which makes it even more important that I eventually get around to going back to Scenario, because there literally is not a proper, real-time action RPG on the Saturn like PS1 has Kingsfield.
Oof, man, if you could get a port of Kingsfield, that would have been sick.
I gotta drop, guys, but man, I'm sorry that I was so distracted during the show, Pat. I actually did get my internet fixed, finally.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for carrying it.
No worries. I do my best, Dave. Thank you for joining us.
You do. Love you. See you later.
Love you too, man. See you later.
Yep. Bye, Dave. Okay, bye.
Yeah, but I guess talking about this game a little bit. When I first played this, I had no idea that it had a bump mechanic. So I was like trying to swing my sword and I just get hit. And I was telling Knight,
really disorienting.
Yeah, I was telling Knight, I was like, why am I getting my ass kicked? He's like, it's a bump system, idiot. And I was like, oh, I see what you mean. So
no, that was all
exactly.
I've never played this game before.
Yeah, so it's pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. I died. I mean, if you saw the gameplay that I put on YouTube, I died almost instantly. Like I went out, I killed some stuff, then I died, mostly because I was trying to grind to get items. So I need to. It's a very grindy game, though. It's the only complaint I had about it. It's probably not the best to stream, but it's still pretty fun.
I mean, people will still watch Korean Grindfests on Twitch sometimes, so you're
That's
still
fair.
good.
That's fair.
I mean, this game, I got like halfway through it. I ended up forgetting to finish it. I got bored of it, but it is. You're right. It's an extreme grind, especially the first part, because a lot of it's not even like an experience grind. It's a money grind.
Yeah, because yeah.
But
you need to
this
grind
is
for
like
money.
yeah, it's this is like I don't remember if it was Master System or NES first. I think NES, but this is a really old game design mechanic. It's like going back to play Hide-a-Lide. And we all remember what happened with Virtual Hide-a-Lide when they just did like a straight port of the inspiration for the mechanics.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I like that game. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, you may have that opinion, but that opinion is incorrect.
I like the supersonic racing speed you can go at.
I think they had to add that in just for like by the 90s, people were not patient enough to grind out this game.
Yeah.
This is like back when like NES games had to pad out the entire runtime by just make it. Have you actually played the original Dragon Quest?
I actually have.
Beaten it?
I think I have. Yeah.
How much time you spent just experience grinding to get to level like what is it, 25 or something?
A lot to kill the first dragon, right? In the cavern.
I don't even remember what level I was, but it was too much, and there's no content between level 1 and like level 10 before you were ready to actually take out real bosses.
Yeah, it was definitely a grind fest, but it was a fun game. I enjoyed it a lot on the NES. I played it a couple years ago. I think it was in 14, I think. But yeah, also somebody in chat says, yeah, you can save anywhere, so it's pretty cool. Actually, I forgot to show off the rest of the translation, the errors that's come with it. But yeah, Dragon Quest, a lot of fun, really fun game. I would recommend playing that. Probably play the remake. I think there's a better remake of it, right?
There are a ton of remakes for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a million. I mean, the latest version of Dragon Quest I've had is on the phone, and I do not recommend it, simply because phone control schemes are so awkward. But I mean, honestly, the NES version holds up if you can tolerate the grind, and I don't think there's any way to really fix the grind because the grind is the game. So you just end up doing that, and yeah, Trekkies is right. Phantasy Star 2 is a bit of a grind, but at least it has content in it. There's a story there. For like Ys, I think from what I remember, it's just like you go through a dungeon and you kill the guy and you come back and you get 2 lines of text. Oh my goodness.
That's a lot of ports. A lot of ports. But yeah, this is what happens in the thing. They had that issue, so it's gonna not only be in Japanese but in garbled Japanese. So, good luck to anybody with Japanese reading that. Kind of losing some context there, but I mean, it's the price we have to pay to play the game.
So are those even the same characters, or are they just like completely random?
I think they're the same characters, but it's just they block out a bunch of it, so you're probably losing a ton of context on what it means.
Okay, it's like a redacted CIA document.
Pretty much, if the CIA was Japanese. I mean, probably the Japanese do that too, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the Japanese Secret Service with it, that is, or the Japanese FBI. Would that be just the Yakuza, or?
I don't think the Yakuza is a government entity.
I'm only playing,
well,
but
I don't
yeah.
know. Actually, it might be. I don't know.
No, those are your illegal mobs.
No, they're an illegal mob, yeah, but you know, it's like it's like how the Sicilian Mafia probably has at least 1 or 2 seats on the New York City Council, just to make sure they have a percentage of the real estate under control.
Or they buy out the union men or whatever.
Oh yeah, like they own like 50% of the unions or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was probably more true in the 90s than it is now.
Yeah, that's probably true. That probably don't exist that much anymore. Later getting Kidroid. Thanks for joining the stream. Have a good weekend. And yeah, chillax, my dude. But yeah,
I mean, honestly, right now I'm debating between like collapsing from lack of sleep and trying to go out and get myself an ice cream.
Ooh, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
I usually go for like something fruity, like a sherbet or something.
Huh.
But like I had like 4 hours of non-continuous sleep over the last day or so, and I don't want to go to sleep yet. And the only reason I can get myself to not like fall asleep right now is to like have to go outside and walk to the ice cream shop.
Yeah, you want to get that ice cream in here though.
Yeah, and then I'll give myself the itis, and I'll end up having to fall asleep anyway.
Fair enough. Hey, it'll fill your belly and you'll be able to sleep. It'll be fun. But yeah, I think I prefer chocolate myself. Like I'm a big chocolate guy. Like I always go to. Do you go like to the big the ice cream places? Do you have like a local one?
I mean, so I'm traveling right now, but back home I can't really think of a place I go to for ice cream. Here I know that there's several places along the coastal wharf area or whatever.
Where you at, if you don't mind asking, or do you not want to talk
I'm
yourself?
in San Francisco.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How's the weather there right now?
It's the temperature is reasonable. I think it's like 50 or something out, 50 or 60.
Huh, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Nice, but no, yeah. Usually I go to out here. I go to Cold Stone Creamery. I don't know if you guys have any of that in New Mexico.
That's a chain. It's like having a McDonald's or a Burger King nearby. There's one of those everywhere.
Really? I didn't think there were. I don't remember any of them on the East Coast.
There's definitely Cold Stone.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I've definitely been to a Cold Stone in Orlando.
Interesting. I did not know that. I really need to go to Orlando. I'm planning a trip there sometime this year because I want to go to the Universal Nintendo World. The Nintendo Land, whatever that's called.
Oh, that's a thing now?
Apparently. I'm excited to check it out, though. Apparently it's going to be opening sometime this year if it's not already opened already. But yeah, I want to check that out and check out Disney World. Because I haven't been to Disney World since like 2000 when I lived in Jersey.
I mean, Disney World is always worth going to. Like, anyone can enjoy Magic Kingdom. If you drink or you like to eat and drink, anyone can enjoy Epcot. Magic Kingdom, or sorry, Animal Kingdom is like a large zoo, even though they advertise that it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think anyone has ever actually enjoyed MGM Hollywood, or they're calling themselves. But
yeah.
If you've literally run out of other things to do with the other parks, you can do that.
I'll have to check that out.
I did not know about the Nintendo thing.
Yeah, apparently that's the Universal's the first one. I originally was gonna go visit my aunt and uncle, but my aunt blocked me on Facebook after a heated political discussion. So actually, it wasn't really heated. It was me just...
You mean medical science?
Literally, I just said something was not true, and she blocked me. So.
Oh, that'll do it.
It's like okay. But I won't get into like the who or what of it. It just was kind of awkward. So that's the big sad. I want to actually visit them because I actually really like them and was probably hoping to do it. But I guess they thought winning an argument was better than that. Better than their... Anyways, yeah, I'm not going to get into that dumb petty shit. So, but I guess getting back to it, yeah, I definitely want to go to Orlando again. I really liked Universal. I want to go on the... I think they have the Jaws ride there, unless they took that one out.
Yeah, they have the Jaws. Well, the thing is, it's been probably more than a decade since I did Universal. That wasn't Halloween Horror Nights, but they had like the Jaws, the MIB, the Back to the Future. I'm sure half of that's been shut down or changed by now. Trekkies is right. MGM has a Star Wars world, which I've never been to, and I totally forgot existed.
MGM?
Yeah, Hollywood. Sorry, they call it Hollywood Studios now because I guess MGM went bankrupt and they lost the right to advertise.
Huh.
But it's still MGM. It's still the movie theme park. And then Universal, apparently shut down the Jaws ride, which is kind of sad, but whatever.
Yeah, so like Universal, the Jaws ride is gone. Back to the Future is now the Simpsons ride.
What they shut down something else?
What?
The Terminator. Do they have the Terminator?
No, they shut that down
last year.
Well, what's left?
It's just being replaced with stuff. It's all the Harry Potter stuff.
They got the Minions rides. Ooh, banana. Yeah. Get it? It's funny.
I mean,
funny Minions reference.
Which I think Minions replaced Shrek.
Yeah, but to be fair, Shrek should have been dead in a while ago.
Universal is mostly, it's pretty much just Harry Potter at this point, and Jurassic Park.
To be fair, Harry Potter World's pretty awesome, though.
To Universal to look at the Harry Potter stuff. I forget how long ago it was, but all it was one section of the park with one roller coaster, the train ride to the Islands of Adventure, whatever they called, and a large restaurant. That's all I could find there.
There's another. Well, if you take the train ride, it puts you off at the other Harry Potter world in Islands of Adventure.
Yeah, but don't you need a ticket to get into the second park?
I think
you could pop
when I went there, the one we had, it was like the same. It was the ticket for both parks.
Okay.
What we had.
All I had was like the one park.
But basically, the one that's in like the main Universal Studios, there's like 1 or 2 roller coasters, I think now. There's all the shops like for Diagon Alley, I think, and then they have like the restaurants and that. And then if you go over to the other one, it's basically supposed to be like by Hogwarts. That's where like the Hogwarts Castle ride is. There's like Hagrid's motorcycle ride is there, I think. There's one other.
That sounds a bit
suggestive.
And then
I'm just remembering.
And then there's all
in
the other
Universal
shops in that there.
In the Universal Studios section of the Harry Potter, it's not just the roller coaster. They have the Hogwarts Castle ride. And the only reason I can remember it now is because some kid went on the ride, and as soon as the Dementors came up, he started screaming and freaking out.
Oh,
and
is that the one?
Shut down the ride.
Is that the one where they have the Quidditch match and it goes into the floor and it's like the Dementors, you have to fight them and then.
It's literally just the Haunted Mansion mechanics from Magic Kingdom, where you're sitting in a little spinny.
It's a little more intense because it has a whole bunch of like, they try to do a whole bunch of 3D stuff with it. Because I remember I was fine with Haunted Mansion in Disney. When I tried to do that Harry Potter one, I needed like a good hour afterwards to recover because I was like extremely motion sick and like on the verge of throwing up afterwards.
Oh, seriously? I don't remember it being that bad, and I get motion sick easy.
Well, like, so when I went on it, maybe it's changed, but when I went on it, it kept like snapping back and forth between like those like 3D like movie projectors and animatronics.
Yeah.
That constant snapping back and forth, just I couldn't do it, and I like had to just sit, and I basically just had to sit for like an hour and before I could like just move.
You know, that reminds me of the.
Wait, do
you guys remember that?
Do you wear glasses?
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, that probably doesn't help.
Yeah.
Well, I took them off for the ride. I didn't have them on in the ride.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
did you guys read the Spider-Man one?
Well for me. Yes, I did the Spider-Man one. That one was fun. I forgot there is the Marvel stuff. That's not bad.
Yeah, no, because there's an old Spider-Man ride. It was like in the 90s where it's that same sort of thing when you're in a vehicle and you're going through like the.
Yeah, that one though you wear 3D glasses. The Harry Potter one you don't. So it's like it's trying to do it with like
3DS technology.
Well, like it's hard. It's hard to describe like what the hell it is. Like, do you ever go to like those science museums and they have like that like dome IMAX theater?
Yeah.
It's like you're putting a mini one of those and it's moving with you.
Huh.
It's like it's really disorienting and it just makes you want to throw up.
Oof.
Like I was fine with the Star Wars one. Before they put in the whole new Star Wars area, they had like the Star Tours era one at Disney, I think.
They messed up Star Tours. I read the latest one. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, this was before the new trilogy was when I was there.
Yeah, because like they did the Star Wars was the episode 8 stuff, and it was just hot garbage. It's like, oh, Kylo Ren.
So it was just, we're running out of gas. Quickly, get more gas.
Pretty much. It basically was.
I remember the Star Tours originally was like they actually took you on the Death Star run.
Yeah, that's what it used to be like. There was like a couple different variants you could get, and like the first, like the ones that were like the most common was you did the Death Star attack from A New Hope, and then the other one was that you went through the what was it? The Endor Moon. You went through like all that, like the speeder bike thing, and then you went through like the Death Star for Return of the Jedi, and we're going through like the Battle of Endor and that. But then they did add some stuff from the prequel trilogies as well. But those weren't really bad either. Like they're like the one you like went through like the pod race in episode 1.
I mean, the pod race is like a perfect set piece.
Mm-hmm. Whereas like I can't think of anything being exciting enough to make a ride about from episode 8.
Yeah.
The entire plot point was we're running out of gas.
No, the episode 8 part, it's like Kylo Ren's chasing you down through the ride, and then you do the red sand thing, like you know when the vehicles went across that red sand thing in episode 8 when they're invading the thing. I tried
to forget it.
Yeah, it's basically that, and then yeah, actually we have a funny story. I have a funny story about that movie though. With a friend of mine and I they were talking about Star Wars, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I hate episode 8, especially at the end when they're all dancing and stuff." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "Yeah, when they all started dancing and stuff." And I'm like, "I don't. Are you sure we're talking about the same movie?"
So you're talking about
that's
episode
return.
6?
No,
Yeah.
he meant episode 8. I was like, what are you talking about? There's no dancing in
There was
that.
no dancing in episode 8. People are just sitting there depressed because everyone's dying off screen.
Yeah, we literally just joked that maybe he thought he saw the stars connect, and it's just Han Solo comes back as a Force ghost and does that Han Solo dance.
Did you see the Christmas special and think it was episode 8?
Which Christmas special? There's 2 of them now.
What?
Yeah, there's two holiday specials for Star Wars now. There's the official.
What's the second one?
It's called the Lego Holiday Special. I accidentally
so it's
bought
Lego
it.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I accidentally bought it when I thought it was the original Star Wars thing when I bought it, but it turned out to be the Lego one. I was like, oh come on, you kidding me?
Do you think Disney is ever going to release a 4K remaster of the Star Wars Holiday Special?
I don't know if they have any way to
Absolutely not.
remaster because I don't think it was done on film. I think it was done on like analog video.
Yeah, it was on tape, I
Oh.
believe. So the best
So
they're gonna
it's
get is
stuck
whatever
in
the
that
master
resolution.
is.
I think like George Lucas is like he's like acquired every copy and it's like buried in a vault. Or he may have burned them for all we know.
Yeah, but
It sounds like he wanted to.
I mean, like in all seriousness, they really need to get the original trilogy, like the original trilogy, like fixed, like. But I mean,
Well, they
have
don't exist anymore.
really. Oh yeah, he
They
destroyed
did
the
the
negatives.
special
Right?
the rumor is apparently they made the special edition on the original Masters.
Wow, are you kidding me?
So like
That's-
they
Yeah,
don't exist in that format anymore.
That's why the despecialized edition is literally taking like Laserdisc and VHS.
Well, actually, no, it's
copies.
not doing that. A lot of it they've pulled from they got film prints that were given out to theaters. They found a Technicolor film print
Oh, there you go.
of them.
No, you're thinking of thinking of Star Wars 4K, the SW 4K
right, but
77.
the despecialized, I think he did pull some sources when those came out. They offered them to him.
Yeah, they did. The thing is that he did pull. He actually did
There's
pull
very little,
Laserdisc
I
stuff.
think he did it originally, but I think he's since replaced it with better sources.
Okay, that's good.
Because you can upscale Laserdisc, but it's not going to look good. There's only so much you can do.
Because technically it's composite video at the end of the day. I mean, it's better
honestly,
composite
like,
video, but
Honestly, when it comes to the original trilogy, like official releases, it's basically the Laserdiscs aren't bad, but the DVD release has better video quality, while the Laserdisc has better audio quality.
yeah. In all honesty, if you guys really want to watch the original trilogy, just get Star Wars 4K 77, Star Wars 4K 81, and then get the despecialized for the Return of the Jedi. And then wait until the 4K 83 comes out. 4K 83 has Return of the Jedi. They're doing Empire Strikes Back right now, so get those two and get the despecialized for Empire Strikes Back, and you're solid.
I'm still waiting for a good fan edit of episodes 1 and 2 to try and combine them into a more coherent movie.
Apparently I think somebody's working on a project where they're taking all 3 movies and combining it into one massive movie, and just calling it, like, making it like a 3-hour movie, just like called the Anakin story or whatever.
I mean, I
believe so.
legitimately
Honestly,
liked.
The prequels didn't bother me too much. Like, yeah, they have their like downsides, but the one thing I can say is the sequel trilogy made me deeply appreciate the prequel trilogy a lot more.
Well, on that bombshell, I'm going to switch over to Penguin Minmaru now. So, I did not expect that to happen. I did not expect to enter a room and instantly get killed. So that was fun times.
So the distinction I make is that the prequel trilogy is a competent plot, incompetently filmed, and then the problem with the sequels is that there is no plot, but it is competently filmed.
Yeah, I could say that. I could understand that, but it's just, I think the plot. I think having a bad filming but good plot is better than no plot and okay filming.
Right, yeah. And the reason why I can tolerate the prequel trilogy is because I read Darth Plagueis, the book, and the context it provides absolutely fixes episode 1 and 2.
The one that always made me laugh was one of my friends in high school. He could just do a perfect like kid Anakin impression.
Oh no.
So,
Oh,
well,
God.
when anyone would, because he was like a big Star Wars fan, but he didn't really like the prequels. And the minute anyone would say like, well, why don't you like the new ones? Why don't you like Episode 1? He would immediately go into that voice and just start like quoting like every single annoying line of his from the movie.
I mean, you've heard the song.
He'd go like, he'd be like, what do you have wrong with it? Are you an angel? And they'd be like, then he'd be like, they're like, what? He's like, there's a sandstorm coming. Sandstorms are very, very dangerous.
Oh, jeez. Did you make him ask for a Turbo Man?
No.
Is that the same kid?
Yeah, that's the same kid.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, he's not like a stiff actor in Turbo what's Jingle All the Way. He's actually
He
acts like a
wasn't being
kid.
directed by George Lucas.
Yeah, he actually was. He actually is a good
That's the thing
actor.
that people don't realize. Like, Star Wars, episode 5 and 6 were not directed by George Lucas. He was just like the producer, basically. He wasn't the one directing. He wasn't the one behind the camera, and he wasn't the one and basically like other people were in charge to make those good. And like episode 4, when you really go back and watch it, yes, it's good and historical, but it's the slow one. It's the one that has like its parts that kind of drag on a bit. And it's
And
like
it's
that
also
one was,
carried. Like George Lucas was still listening to his friends.
that, and it's like wasn't it his wife who was the one who was the editor and like fixed it?
Yeah, the original
so
cut was just unwatchable.
And it's like when it comes to like the prequel trilogy, it's like it's 100% George Lucas running everything. It's like that's where it's like the plot and everything is able to carry it, but there's some really rough parts.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see like there's a clip where it's like Natalie Portman is like on a stage and it's all blue screen, and she's like, it's when they're in like that whole factory sequence. And they're filming her running. She's like running, like trying to dodge. He's like throwing things in front of her to like dodge over. She's like, she eventually just stops and like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. I'm not doing this. He's like, no, it's gonna look great when we put all the CGI in.
Yikes.
I think she said this was like a practical joke.
Yeah, so she's basically just goes off like, this is dumb. This is stupid. You're joking. This isn't serious, right?
Yeah. It's a very weird. I still think the best George Lucas quote about this prequels is in the behind the scene making of episode 1. He's sitting in the theater. He's like, I may have gone too far in a few places. And I think that's the I still use that line in so many memes. Like every time I see something, I'm like, I may have gone too far in a few places.
But the thing is,
the one that's also kind of like sad about the prequel trilogy in general is like episode 1 is the only one that was actually shot on film. The others were all shot digitally, so they're stuck at that resolution, which I think was like 1080p.
No.
Was what they were
well, I mean, how much resolution do you need on your green screen, really?
Well, no, it's like, but what I'm saying is like the whole film, like movie, they don't have a higher like resolution source to go back and remaster.
I mean, they at least filmed it in 8K, right?
It's stuck at 1080p. I think.
Are you kidding me? They didn't film that in 8K?
I think it was filmed in 1080p.
Dude, when they did Dark Knight, that Dark Knight was filmed at friggin' 16K or something ridiculous.
The Dark Knight trilogy was done on film.
Really? Oh yeah, no, you're right.
IMAX
It's 16. Film. They had the IMAX and the 16. Was it right? Because
Dark Knight trilogy was done entirely on film.
Yeah, because I remember looking at the behind the scenes. It basically like, yeah, he strapped 2 cameras together. It was like the 16 millimeter or whatever, and then he strapped the whatever the camera was, the other IMAX one to it. And I remember hearing that one of them got completely destroyed in the filming of Dark Knight. It like just like $1 million camera just instantly destroyed.
What did he do to it?
I think
got hit by something.
Yeah, it was during the motorcycle scene where they're filming the motorcycle thing where he's trying to get the Joker, and I think either the motorcycle or something fell off and it just completely got destroyed. Like it was insanely destroyed.
Well, I mean, that is $1 million scene in itself, so it's a necessary and worthy sacrifice.
Yeah, like I mean, it's not. The thing is that it's not like it wasn't a big worry because like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal because like WWE is billions of dollars, so it's not like it's like a non-issue. So it's like, but like to normal people, it's like, oh wow, there was $1 million camera down the drain. It's like a sort of a shock thing.
And it's it had to have been insured because
yeah, probably
it's hard.
likely.
It's hard to get a hold of an IMAX camera.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely insured all that stuff. And honestly, a lot of the equipment probably was rented. I don't do a lot of film stuff, but I'm pretty sure fairly most equipment's just rented anyways, so.
Oh no! You guys see what Michael said? He went and bought a ticket to see Adam Sandler's Waterboy in order to see the preview for episode 1.
To be fair, the preview for episode 1 was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Wait, did Waterboy come out around that time?
It's a trailer.
Yeah.
It's a movie trailer.
But it was pretty awesome.
I mean,
it was an awesome trailer.
Yeah, I mean, like
Did you ever see it? Emerald, did you ever see it?
I don't remember the trailer at all, honestly. I just remember seeing the movie, and I didn't know what to think of it at the time because I had only seen bits and pieces of the actual Star Wars beforehand. I forget how old I was. I only remember being excited for episodes 2 and 3 when they came out.
Yeah, but yeah, actually, I didn't realize Waterboy came out around that time though. I thought that was the early '90s. Waterboy came out. That was like in the mid '90s.
The early 90s would be Billy Madison.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I thought episode 1 came out around 99, right?
Yeah, it was 99.
Yeah. And like The Matrix came out the same year, and that's the movie you want to go see the preview for if you're going to go see something.
To be fair, The Matrix was kind of unknown versus Star Wars.
I get that, but you know.
But yeah, it's really funny. I think it was kind of funny to think about it that way. But yeah, in all honesty, even like for the new sequel trilogy, people lined up in I think it was the November 2004 to see the prequel for the new Star Wars trilogy. Like people like lined up just to see the trailer in an IMAX theater. It was like I think it was like Black Friday.
I missed the entire hype around that. I might have been just slightly too young to really care, but the Plinkett specials on it just cover
my God.
exactly.
The Plinkett specials. If you guys want to watch Star Wars and like experience it, watch the Plinkett reviews. It's probably the funniest reviews like that rival the AVGN. Like honestly, I think those Plinkett reviews are the AVGN of the movie world. But I still think my favorite quote from that is like, "What's wrong with your face?" Yeah,
that's a regular quote. I will bring that in conversation every once in a while. That and you may not have noticed this, but your brain did.
Yeah. God, I love Plinkett reviews. If anybody hasn't watched Red Letter Media stuff, definitely go watch that because some of the funniest guys on the internet, some of the greatest reviews. I still think my favorite review by them is the one for the review they did for Grown Ups 2. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you watched it, it's probably the best review of all time.
Is that the one where they just start making up fake stuff in the movie just to try and outdo each other?
No, that was another one. I don't want to spoil what happens though, but I'll spoil this much that it's one of those out.
I'm thinking of movie 43 or whatever it's called. I don't even know if they still have that review up. It might have got pulled down by Universal or whoever owns the movie. But they just, like, the movie itself is such a ridiculous piece of crap that they could not review it and take it seriously. So they just started making stuff up that's in the movie that's just plausible enough for you to believe that they did it because of how bad the movie is. And at some point, they just keep one-upping each other. And then I think Jay is like, yeah, it was a really weird choice for them to end it with uninterrupted news coverage from the 9/11 tragedy.
Wow, Jesus. What the heck?
It was
Are we offline?
perfect.
We're still going?
I mean, I can see you.
Frozen.
But
Oh, am I frozen? What the heck?
Yeah, we're spinning here.
Okay, that's not good.
Yeah, the whole like.
Oh, there you go. Now you're in.
Okay, yeah, that was weird. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. That was pretty bizarre. So sorry about that. I guess the game's like this game is too bad for me.
Man, we need Xenosat yelling at you.
Yeah, that I guess context. Last night I was playing this for really the first time seriously, and Xenos was like wanting me to play this like at expert levels. Like, you need to go this way, you need to go this way, you need to take the game seriously. You're messing up. I was like, yeah, I know, Xenos. I'm playing this for fun, so I thought it was really funny.
You need to stop here, You need to adjust yourself. You need to
Yeah.
go back 3 steps, run forward,
you're freezing
triple
again,
jump.
Is it?
I think. Up, it's back.
Okay. It was weird. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on with it. I think YouTube just pooped out on me. It said an error occurred and then crashed on me. Sorry
I
about
just
that.
noticed you can see VDP1 transparency errors in its shadow.
Really?
Yeah, you can see the overdraw lines every now and then.
Oh, I see them. Yeah, when you go from left to right, you can see that.
I never
Yeah.
really understood how you're supposed to project shadows. I assumed you like dropped a sprite of like mesh down
Yes.
onto the.
I mean, a lot of games do it differently. Some will just do just like a mesh sprite underneath. Others just do a solid one. Others try and do a like transparent one, like this one's doing.
It's cool,
It's
guys.
cool.
It's cool. It's cool. I love the design of this. I actually looked online. Apparently, this is based off of a manga and an anime series. And this game actually is the only game on the Saturn made by Enix. So it's the
I know
closest.
I think there's one other.
Oh, there is?
There's a soccer RPG I think they were involved in.
I stand corrected.
It's weird to me that Sakura Wars isn't an RPG.
I mean,
It seems like it
technically,
should
it's a
be.
turn-based RPG.
You could kind of say it is.
I mean, it's like Fire Emblem. It's a strategy game technically. The turn-based strategy, I guess, TBS.
Yeah, there's no real like there's no character advancement that I remember.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely more of a turn-based RPG, but it's really good. I like it. Or tactical. Was it tactical turn-based RPG? Whatever the thing's called,
I
whatever.
think you just call it a strategy game,
I guess.
like Advance Wars.
Yeah, actually, that probably. I mean, the funny thing that the Advance Wars is actually by the guys that did Fire Emblem as well, Intelligent Systems. Oh god, I hope we don't lose
I need
this.
to go back and like play literally any of the Shining games. I don't think I've ever beaten a single one. The closest I got is probably Shining in the Darkness.
Really, you almost beat. Oh god, he's gonna kill me. Yeah, he won.
I honestly don't remember how far I got. I just know that I got far enough where I would be. I would have to make sure that I actually finish it if I wanted to start again because it's a huge time investment to grind that much.
Really? Yeah, because I mean, I kind of just want to play I want to beat Shining Force 3 just so I can beat it because I've heard really good things about it.
I mean, apparently Knight has not beaten Shining Force 3 Scenario 3 yet, despite
surprised.
having
Oh, what the heck?
translated the game for 20 years.
My character literally just stood still, and it's like, you know what? We're not doing anything.
I need to stop being work and being fun.
Be a fun dude.
See,
Yeah,
this is
So have any of you guys ever actually like seen the soccer RPG that's on the
No, I
Saturn?
haven't actually.
no, I did not know it
actually
existed.
well, it's one of the Sega Saturn commercials actually.
Really?
Like the thing with it is like it's made like Enix was involved in making it, and it's like when you look at it, it basically looks like your typical like Square Enix like RPG on the PS1 with like the pre-rendered backdrops and like little super deformed like polygon characters running on top of it. But it's all about like making a soccer team and the battles are playing soccer.
Oh,
Huh.
that ruins it for me.
I'm down. I'm all about those weird Japanese. Danthrax in the chat also says they also published Riven in Japan on the Saturn. Riven that was part of the Mist series, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's a second one.
Fair.
I forgot how many they made. I'm surprised they made more than one.
They made a lot of Mist games. It's kind of insane.
Rumor had it like they were considering putting Dragon Quest VII on the Saturn, but then when Final Fantasy VII like blew up on the PS1, they jumped ship.
Fair.
I mean, that's fair. Like, because I mean, yeah, you know, the North American Sega of America is not gonna like do anything for you at that point. And really, is there any like actual, like you said, that style of game where it's like a pre-rendered background and chibi characters going around doing the random battle stuff? Is there anything like that on the Saturn, really? Because a lot of the Saturn RPGs are a little bit out there.
There's the Sakura Wars RPG. Or there's the
Sakura
Sakura RPG. Sorry, the Sakura.
Sakura Wars
I
RPG.
meant the
Not the soccer one.
I meant the Sakura RPG. That's the only one I know of off the top of my head that I can think of right now.
Because I know, like, the PS1 has a bunch of them, and it's not just, like, the Square ones. There's even things like...
There's, like,
Breath of
Legend of
Fire.
Dragoon does it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
And they're all, like, the design principles all kind of converged around the limitations of Gen 5, and they make sense. I'm just surprised that the Saturn is capable of doing all these really good background, high-quality backgrounds, and it never really tried to go in that direction, because the quad count for doing a battle scene cannot be super ridiculous, especially the fact that, like, what Final Fantasy VII is at, like, what, 20 frames or 15 frames? That's room for a lot of quads.
15.
It's a lot of quads.
Yeah.
Well, like, there's an interview from Square where they talk about, like, the development of Final Fantasy VII. The one thing they mention is when they get to, like, jumping from N64 to PS1, the one interview is like, oh yeah, it was because, like, you couldn't fit it all in this. Like, well, there was that, but the real big reason that pushed us was we couldn't get good performance in the battles. They're like, and they basically said, well, and then they go into it. They're like, well, the one enemy we had, the Behemoth, had about 2,000 triangles in it, in its model. Then all the different characters had about 750 to 800 triangles in their model, and then there's the scenery. So they were pushing about like 5,000 to 6,000 triangles, I guess. Like,
yeah, but at 15 frames, I'm pretty sure the Saturn can handle like 8,000 quads.
Possibly, but like this was like the N64 they were talking about, and remember, this was in like the early '90s, like right when the N64 came out. They were working on this. And remember,
I'm surprised the N64 couldn't handle it.
Well, remember, Nintendo had that thing for a while where they were being like extremely like anal with developers. Like, you must have all the anti-aliasing turned on, you must have the Z buffer and all this other stuff turned on.
That's where
You
it looks
must
like
use our
absolute
specific,
garbage.
like, you must use all of our specific microcode, and that gives you really pretty polygons, but not at good frame rates.
Yeah. Also keep in mind that the N64 also used the cartridges, and to put Final Fantasy on there would have to be at the least probably like 20 or 30 cartridges at the least.
Well, you have to have like the biggest ones released were 64 megabytes, but those were like late releases in like 99, 2000.
That was like Resident Evil 2, right?
Yeah.
Those are really small. Like, how do you fit an entire game in 64 megabytes?
Very carefully.
Yeah, the thing is that with Resident Evil though, they actually like compressed it to shit.
Compression.
Yeah. Like, you can actually hear the compression. It's that compressed.
Like, I was talking to like the N64 devs in their Discord server when we were talking about the FMV competition, and the one thing they said, they're like, there's not really a limit of how big a cartridge can be. It was just back then it was so prohibitively expensive that 64 was as big as they went. Like, you could make one significantly bigger if you wanted today. It's just they really don't see the point in it. When it comes to like Resident Evil 2, like, the one thing that people need to remember is they didn't really take 2 CDs worth of data and compress it down. When you look at the Resident Evil 2 discs, yes, it's 2 discs, but like 90% of the data on both discs is identical.
And it's probably the same story with...
It was an oops for why it's on 2 discs. Like, the developers came and said, we made an oops when we finished the game, and we accidentally created 2. They miscalculated how much space they needed. So then they came to the conclusion like, oh, we need 2 discs, and they split it in half and made 2 discs. And they later looked at it and said, I think this could have fit on 1 disc, and they recalculated like, oh crap, and it was too late and was already being printed.
I still think the funniest thing about that is that in the N64 version of Resident Evil 2, they actually forget to change the cutscene with Claire and between Claire and Ada when they're talking to Annette Birkin. They actually play the same cutscene for the same.
Right. Well.
Yeah.
Well, part of that's also, I don't know if that's a mistake or they did that because, like, well, this will save some space and no one's gonna notice.
Yeah. In all honesty,
I'm willing to bet that's what they did.
Yeah. Probably.
Because you look at it, there's a lot of places where they did that. There's a lot of places where they cut frames out, they cut the down, like they trimmed them and clipped them a little bit so they don't go as long, and did some like careful selective editing to them. A lot of them get reused when they wouldn't have been reused before. So like they did a lot of stuff to compress that down. Plus they're very low color and very low frame rate.
Oof.
So I'm curious now as to like what's the delta between discs like 1 and 3 of Final Fantasy VII, because they have all the same locations and the same battle system and basically the same area music. Like you don't have to switch discs.
Well, so Final Fantasy VII, all the music is MIDI. So like there is no it's not CD audio or like 80 PCM or anything like that. It's all MIDI.
Right.
Same for 8 and 9. For the actual like game, I think, like you said, most of the areas are on all the discs, and I think even like the entire plot and scripting might be on all the discs. But it's mainly the FMVs. That's what takes up all the space. There is a shit ton of FMVs in that game.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the invincibility frames, Loon, yeah, I learned since watching a bunch of speedrunners that I am 100% fine with abusing invincibility frames. That's why they're there to abuse. So I don't have to worry about dying horrendously.
Then like maybe with Final Fantasy VIII they might not have all the areas on the disc. Like I think for 8 when you get to disc 4 it's just like the final area. I
know like in
the world map is there, but you can't go anywhere.
In Mass Effect 2 for the 360, you have to swap discs to go to different planets.
Really?
Yeah. Like if you go to Ilium,
I know Star Ocean 4 is like that.
And to be, I feel like that's kind of fair. Like if you want to have a big galaxy and you're spending like an 8 or 10 hour stint in one planet before going off to the next section, like I want to call it like a KOTOR style of structure for an RPG, where you finish one hub and then you just leave and never come back. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and that was 2 or 3, Mass Effect 2 or 3.
That was 2.
Oh, okay. I played on PC, so I didn't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, playing on PC is usually the right call. But yeah, yeah. It was on one disc for Mass Effect 1, and then I think it was 2 discs for Mass Effect 2. I didn't see what happened with Mass Effect 3, but I assume it was at least 2 discs.
Did you play it on the 360 or the PS3?
I played 3
originally.
on Wii U.
Oh my god.
I'd never played any of the Mass Effects before, and it was $5 in the bargain bin at Best Buy. I said, "What the hell?"
Like, how do you choose the absolute worst option? I don't understand.
I mean, the port was actually pretty decent, but I mean, like I said, it was $5 in the bargain bin.
What you want to do is you want to play the PC version front to back, so that you can import your character and the character history.
I know, but like the Wii U one had like it had the whole like thing that went through and told you the plot of the first 2 games and let you pick the choices.
Oh yeah, the comic style thing.
The major ones.
Yeah.
But like there's a whole bunch of minor choices that you just kind of get missed.
I suppose. Actually, I actually had to do that comic again when I played Mass Effect 2 because my Mass Effect 3 save got corrupted. So I actually had to, Mass Effect 1 got corrupted. So I actually had to do that to play the game again. It's pretty funny,
yeah,
actually.
You should have just played Mass Effect 1 again because it's just worth playing.
I didn't have the time to do that. Sadly, the thing is that I honestly I don't really have time to play games that much anymore. So, like to play that again would be too much of a commitment. Sadly.
Yeah, I replay Mass Effect probably like once every 2 or 3 years, like the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Mass Effect's just way too much of a commitment for me, sadly. Like it's just way too much. Like I enjoy the games, but like I'd rather play something like Snatcher where I can beat it in like a couple hours.
Oh no, Mass Effect, the trilogy, I want to say, depending on how fast you are, is anywhere between 80 and like 150 hours.
Jesus. That's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that got me to like Mass Effect 3 was like when I went and did the ending, like the last thing I had done was the whole thing with I think it was like Tally's plot where you make like what the hell are those the robot people that they have?
Yeah.
What are they called? Yes,
the Geth.
Yeah. Where it's like you can either like make them like kill all the Geth or let the Geth win or make them like achieve peace.
What'd you make her off herself?
No, I made them achieve peace between like the Geth and Tally.
Okay.
Tally's people. So I did that, and then I get to the end and like organics and synthetics can't possibly live together or achieve peace. I literally just made that happen maybe like 3 hours ago.
Oh, you're playing it right now?
Yeah, the game.
When I was playing through the ending, you get to the ending, they're like, organics and synthetics can't live together in peace ever. I'm like, I just made that happen. They're like, no, it can't happen. Okay.
The writing kind of fell apart at that ending, and that's. I mean, that's the major sticking point. The weakness of Mass Effect 3 is that's the only part where it really fails.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the biggest criticism. I remember one guy I remember I was in this club at the university and we were talking about Mass Effect 3. I was like, yeah, I thought the ending sucked, and he was like, he got really angry at me. He was like, "F you, dude, F you," and I'm like, dude, calm down. I guess he got angry because I made fun of the multicolored endings.
So. That was pretty bad.
Pick red or blue. We want a new ending. Okay, green.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was really.
They
dumb.
gave you a fourth one where you just straight up lose.
That's fair.
I honestly, like, I don't think they did anything even close to fixing the ending enough for me to not say that Indoctrination Theory is a much better ending, even if it's incomplete.
Huh.
So
yeah,
Pat, on topic with this game, Private Eye says that the game-breaking bug at the end is in the original patch.
Oh yeah, I saw that in the chat. I wasn't bringing that up. So yeah,
we were talking about RPGs too much.
We just love RPGs.
There was also the weird thing with Star Ocean 4 where it was originally on the 360 and they ported it to the PS3, and it's a very rare case of, even though the PS3 is only on 1 disc and Xbox 360 is on 3 disc, it's better on Xbox 360.
Which game is that? Star Ocean?
Star Ocean 4, the graphics, it runs in a higher resolution, maintains frame rate better, has better lighting effects, better textures and all that stuff. Plus,
that's bizarre.
Does it run on Xbox One?
I think so. I think it does now. I think you got a Steam release also. But
I might want to do that.
But it might be best on Steam now. I don't know how that port turned out. But basically, it just overall was better on 360 versus PS3. Because the difference between Final Fantasy 13 between 360 and PS3, where it's 360 ran in a lower resolution, the FMVs were horribly compressed and all that stuff. It was the exact opposite. So everything was wrong with Final Fantasy 13 on the 360. Apply that to Star Ocean 4 on the PS3, and it's basically it's a complete switch.
Yeah, it seemed like there's all just hit and misses on the PS3. I think the Bayonetta, the original Bayonetta is garbage on the PS3. It's my recollection.
It barely maintains 20 FPS.
Yeah, so definitely should play it on the 360, or better yet, just get it on the Switch and Wii U.
Or PC.
Or that too. It's on PC?
Just the first one.
Oh.
How do you play a game like Bayonetta under 60 frames?
You don't.
I mean, the 360 version ran at 60, but it had drops. I think Wii U, for the most part, maintained 60, but would drop every now and then. And then Switch is the first console one to maintain solid 60 the whole way out.
It's pretty good. You can also play
PS3 Bayonetta was it was unplayable.
Yeah. You can also play the Bayonetta 2 on PC through other means.
We don't speak of those.
Fair. But yeah. I think Bayonetta. I'm excited for the third one. I haven't beat the first or second one, but I heard they're pretty short, so I'll probably dedicate a couple days to that around E3 of this year and just play that. Also, this part is very tough, so if I die, it's not my fault. I tried my best.
Well, the platforms are too small, and the hitboxes feel like they're not as precise as they could be.
Yeah. This is some extreme platforming. This makes Super Magnetic Neo look easy.
Yeah, there you go, Emerald.
What?
I put it in general for you.
What a nice guy.
I missed. I'm on my phone. I
Nice,
can't multitask here.
I made it, boys.
Oh, okay. So this is someone redid the Phantom Menace in 4K.
Well, there's that. That was just a trailer. They scanned the film, but the one I just put in, that was the Bayonetta PS3 versus 360 digital foundry.
I'm just looking at the thumbnail and I'm already disappointed.
Well, it's like so like just that first like intro segment. PS3 is at 30 and 360 is at 60, and then like once the camera starts to zoom out, PS3 drops to 20.
It's rough.
Oof, yeah. I was looking at my text real quick, and I put in the chat this morning that Meatloaf died, and then my mom just texted me saying Meatloaf died. It's like, yeah, I put it in the chat. It's like, I know
that
Meatloaf
happens
died
to me
today. I told you.
sometimes. Like, someone will tell me news, and then it'll occupy my thoughts, and I'll forget who told me, and then I'll bring it up in conversation later.
Oh crap! I forgot what I was supposed to do with this guy. Do I collect coins or do I just fight this guy? I don't know.
I thought if you collect coins, there's going to be an enemy coin counter as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you have to... Apparently you have to fight this guy. I don't know what he wants me to do. I don't know how to do damage to him. I can't use my sword.
Well, you have that runny thing. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe.
Yeah, you've got stars behind you. That implies that you can hurt him. Or not? I don't know.
I have no idea. I keep hitting the walls and doing damage.
To yourself?
Can I jump on his head? I guess not.
That looks like a no. Oh, wait. I think you got him.
No, I died.
No, wait, that was... You got yourself.
I played myself. Yeah, exactly. Can I use my sword, please, sir? Maybe I have to hit him in the butt. Like, I have to give him a nice butt tap.
Wait, do you not use your sword in this game ever?
I can't. I don't know how to pull it out, so...
I mean, that's a very useful skill for any man to know.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at pulling my sword out. So yeah, I don't know weapon move. It's about time anyways, so I'm just gonna call it, and I'll play it another time when I figure out what the controls are, because I don't know what this man wants me to do. I tried jumping on him. Oh, I have to collect all the coins to win? What the fuck? That's so dumb.
That's kind of dumb.
Oh shit. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll collect the coins. Like,
so you're supposed to just okay, I guess you have to outrun him. The difficulty was supposedly he's trying to stop you, but it didn't seem that difficult to just collect coins.
yeah, I guess. I thought I had to fight him because there's the enemy coin counter. I just have to collect them all and not die. Alright. The funny thing I like about this game is that I think this is supposed to be easy for kids, but this is not easy for kids.
I kind of remember a lot of Genesis games playing like that, like the Bugs Bunny,
Get away.
Tasmanian Devil video game for the Genesis. To this day, I cannot figure out how you're supposed to beat that, but obviously, who they are marketing that towards is kids that like Looney Tunes. So and then the freaking Ninja Turtle game on the NES. How are you supposed to win that as a kid?
Yeah. Also, I collected all the coins. Oh. Do I have to like just outrun him for a minute? Is that what the goal is? Just not get hit for a minute?
Like just an endurance sprint?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I collected all the coins and nothing, so... I just gotta wait.
The Lion King was a pretty brutal game on Genesis.
Oh, I never got past the I just can't wait to be king level, where you have to like ride a whole bunch of giraffe heads and figure out how to get thrown in the right direction.
Yeah.
Hey, Buster's Hidden Treasure was not that rough. That was like a moderately, not even super difficult. It was an okay platformer. It was fair.
Is that like one of those Crazy Castle clones, or is it?
No, it's like a legit. If anything, it's a clone of like a Bubsy game or something, but it's a legit platformer.
Do you know what Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle originally was supposed to actually is? Like originally?
Wasn't it some anime game?
No, it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit in Japan.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Okay, yeah, I guess that is it. I had to run
How
away.
did that ever get a licensing deal?
What do you mean?
I mean, like that's it's not an easy game for an easy movie to make a game out of.
What, Roger
If
Rabbit?
anything, it's more. Yeah, like the closest thing I can think of is like a Sam and Max adventure.
I mean, they did that on the NES.
Yeah, the game's awesome on the NES.
Yeah. You even call what's her name, Jessica Rabbit, and get a sex line. I mean, you can't beat that.
Is funny, yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about it, boys. I have to go do some stuff, so sadly the stream will have to end. But we have had a lot of viewers, about 24 viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate that, and we'll be back next week. Hopefully, I'll get the podcast out by then, and we'll be able to talk about that on the next SHIRO show. So, yep. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, you must play Sega Saturn. Oh, my guns are there. You go.